Hey guys, Ghostbox here. Today, we're going to be talking about the Batman Arkham Trilogy. Arkham Asylum was the first game in the Arkham series, and it kind of shows a lot of the mechanics are at their most basic point in this game, but they are also they work very well. And although, in comparison to the newer games, they seem simple, I'm sure when the game first came out, it was very, very impressive. I specifically like Joker and Harley. Uh, I want to say more in this game than I did in the rest of the games. Arkham Asylum is the least open of the Batman games, but for how long ago it came out, I think it was fairly open for its time. Although the core gameplay is you follow the story, and the story tells you go to this place, and you basically go to that place. Um, with no side quests or missions or anything. I think the most important thing to highlight though is the combat system. Although most simple from the other compared to the newer Arkham games, this was where it was created and it was fairly fleshed out. You had attacks, you had counters. I'm playing in hard mode, so usually there's an indicator, which they took out in the newer games for some reason. There's an indicate it took out in hard mode. In hard mode in Asylum, there's an indicator that pops up uh, that is not there in hard mode, so you just have to see that you're about to get punched and hit the counter button. In the newer games, you have to. There's always an indicator even in hard mode, so that's certainly interesting. But you have normal attacks, you have your counter attacks, you have some special button combos you can do that do special moves, and you can use some of the gadgets during combat, and that's it, bare bones, but a great foundation for the next games. So Asylum is a very good game, and if you haven't played the Arkham series, I would recommend starting from Asylum, because not only well once you understand and learn the mechanics, the gameplay grows with the games, and the story continues straight from one game to the other. But technologically and mechanically, it's the worst game in the series, which is how it should be because it was the first game. But glazing over that a little bit, um, Arkham City, Arkham Asylum's big brother, that most people like to say is the best Arkham game for good reason, because it took what Asylum did and it improved upon it. Added different things in combat. I believe the stun batons were introduced in Arkham City. Riot shields, I believe, were introduced in Arkham City. Um, Blades were introduced, or at least the way the dodge mechanic works uh, was introduced, because in Asylum, I don't believe you could even counter blade attacks. Where in Arkham City, now it's a different timing than a normal counter attack. You have to hold away and time your button presses with the blade. So they added a lot to the combat system. Different button combos. The way you can use gadgets is more dynamic, I suppose. And I believe like they added like you can now use explosive gel in combat, which I do not believe was in Arkham Asylum. So they expanded the combat system, which I really liked. That very well fleshed out combat system. On top of, they made an open world. So now that kind of open world, but you're kind of just following the story. There's no side quests, nothing really other than the Riddler trophies, which is a whole nother thing. Uh, there's nothing else to do other than follow the main story. In Arkham City, now it was a proper, like, honestly, the main story took a back seat in a way. It was shorter than Asylum. If at least when I played it, it took less time to get through, because they have a bunch of other side quests and stuff to do, which are cool because it can explore different characters and not spend as much time on a character. But then you still get to see the Mad Hatter, and that's cool, right? But I don't, we don't need a whole uh chapter sequence with Mad Hatter, although that would be cool too. But there's so many villains in Batman to explore that we don't got time for that, right? So it is cool having the side quests, um, more open world. Catwoman, Catwoman, pretty cool addition. which ended up becoming, they added more and more characters as time goes on in the series. I believe in the challenge mode, in DLC actually, you can play as Robin in the challenge mode. You can play as Catwoman, Robin, Nightwing, and Batman. So it's which they all have variations to. Batman has most gadgets and combos and stuff, but the other characters have their own unique um, things about them. Like Catwoman has the whip, the cat caltrops, or the boa. I don't even know. I remember the names of these things, but the spiky things and the trippy things, and her whip. So she has a different toolkit. She doesn't have a grappling hook, but she can pounce up walls, which you're more restricted, but you can also go in the ceiling. So there's different. It's different. It's cool. She has her own really trophies. Um, so Arkham City was a big improvement. Uh, they really refined everything. The combat system, the stealth sections. I forgot to talk about that with Arkham Asylum. The stealth sections were kind of. I mean, we're talking about simplicity. The stealth sections were like especially simplistic in Arkham Asylum. It's like, especially coming from like Batman Arkham Knight. Batman Arkham Asylum was like, oh well, this is really easy. You just sneak up behind them. There's you can explosive gel walls, but there wasn't a lot of gadgets you can use in the stealth section. But Arkham City expands that. In Asylum, they have this gimmick where they're basically like, oh okay, you have this collar, so they know when somebody died, but and then that's like the most complicated. And then you can't use the perch gargoyles anymore because they're set up with explosives, and then that was it. There's no more expansion on the stealth sections. But Arkham City, I'm forgetting exactly what they added because I just finished playing Arkham Knight. Uh, so and that game has a whole bunch of stuff that I know isn't on Arkham City. So I forget exactly what they added, but they made the stealth sections a little bit more interesting to play through. So that's definitely was a plus as well with Arkham City. So if you started Batman Arkham Asylum, simple. Batman Arkham City, they added some more complexity. I started Batman Arkham Knight, and that was the most recent game, although it was 2016, so 10 years ago still. Oh my god, I'm old. But the 20, the most recent game I played, I jumped into Arkham Knight, and they add stuff to the main combat system that's like, whoa, like that's really cool. Although fundamentally doesn't really change much. Like for example, if you're next to a wall and you want to hit an enemy near that wall, instead of just attacking that enemy, the Batman will jump off of the wall and hit the enemy, for example. Or if you're near the Batmobile or environmental object, you can use that environmental object to take out an enemy, which is really cool because if you play Batman Arkham City, sometimes you see something that an enemy can throw, and you look at it and nothing you can do. Batman Arkham Knight, you're like, okay, this thing, I don't want enemies to pick this up, so I'll pick it up and throw it at them. It's very cool. You can they added a lot to the combat system that I think a lot of people like, that were really cool. That being said, the big point of controversy with Batman Arkham Knight is the Batmobile, which is super cool. You can tell just by playing the game that they put a lot of effort into how the Batmobile worked, integrating it into the main gameplay, making it work as a concept. It's a very ambitious concept. You're just like, whoa, you expect the Batmobile to get on a roof? Oh, how are you? Batman doesn't kill. How is he supposed to use that in combat? Or else are we just is it just a car? A lot of questions to be answered in Batman Arkham Knight. It's very cool the way they implement it. That being said, I'm sure since they put so much work in making the Batmobile work, since they wanted to integrate it into the main game, they did that, and it is a lot different than the main combat Predator mission segments that the Batman Arkham series was known for. So I'm sure, like, if you don't like whatever niche that the Batmobile had, all of a sudden, oh wait, I don't like this game, right? But I don't know, I like it. I don't mind it. I think it's cool. uh there's these cool little Riddler races that you go through, um and the tank battles I think are engaging and cool and kind of difficult. They get a little bit easier with the upgrades, but they're a good challenge. uh they do throw them at you quite a bit in the main story though. But this is what I like about the Arkham series in general, playing from one game to the other, one after another, is that it's across the 3 games. They never let you, like, just get used to a gameplay play loop. I mean, they have gameplay loops like the combat and the Predator missions, but they're always kind of adding something to it to make it interesting. Asylum, you start bare bones, a couple combos throughout the game. You're unlocking some gadgets you can use, some extra combos, but the most bare bones, right? Go to City. Now you can use more gadgets. They introduce different weapons and stuff the enemies can use, and throw at you, etc. And in Arkham Knight, now you can counter and throw from a counter. Um, the gliding is expanded. You can glide even faster and further, and you can do stuff out of a glide, like throw gadgets out of a glide. They add a bunch of stuff, right? The same thing with Predator. Asylum, your Predator missions start off, you get behind them, you hit Y to silent takedown them. That's basically Y silent takedown, Y silent takedown. Okay, add a couple things throughout the game, like the explosive gargoyles and the collars that they wear so that they know that they died. Okay, and then Batman Arkham City. Okay, well, now you're gonna add. They add the mines, that they can set the mines. And they add the glasses so that they can see through smoke, and you see on the gargoyles. And Batman Arkham Knight. Okay, all of a sudden now you can use a hacker device. You can use the voice authenticator device thing to move people around. You can hack rooms to do stuff. You can do all sorts of stuff, and it's like the whole series is an evolution. And then they have the Batmobile, obviously, so a completely different avenue of gameplay. They had the 2 Predator combat, and then Batman Arkham Knight. They had, okay, Batmobile battles, and then this battle section, and then like a chase sequence, right? So the whole series, it's kind of beautiful in a way. You see the ideas expand, and they never sit on one idea for too long, which is pretty cool. Now, all 3 of these games have the Riddler trophies. If I recall correctly, City and Asylum do not have rewards. I did not even try to complete them all. Well, I did a little bit in Asylum, and I got pretty far. I could probably do it if I wanted to, but I don't, because I'm pretty confident that game you get nothing. But Batman Arkham Knight, you actually do get a boss battle with the Riddler, which I went ahead and redid. Got all 243 trophies and fought the Riddler. And it's a cool thing to have in the game for people that, maybe they don't buy a whole lot of games, and they want to get value out of their game, or they like to explore the world. It's cool to get them just the best the Riddler too. Show him your intellect. It's a cool thing to do. But at the end of the day, I recommend any person that's interested in video games to play Batman Arkham series. I think the stories are compelling, the gameplay is engaging, it mixes it up all the time. They're funny. It's serious, but at the same time, like, there's jokes in the game, and it's pretty funny. So yeah, I know the closest games nowadays that's made to Arkham series are the Spider-Man games. Let me know in the comments if anybody played those games and thinks they're worth playing, because I look at them and I think about playing them, but I'm not sure. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I would appreciate it a lot. See you guys in the next one.